but that does no justice to this creative combination of Jiangnan cuisine, especially the latter. Dunshengqiao, that is a Nanjing culinary soup. Look at those two golden rows of trees. And the beautiful autumn colors around the lake. Full foliage. That's what we came to Nanjing for. But first, we are going to grab lunch at the Black Pearl Guide restaurant in the nearby Shangri-La. What is the Black Pearl Guide? 大众点评, China's #1 restaurant review platform, released their annual Black Pearl Guide a few years ago. Sort of like the Michelin Guide. But just like the Michelin Guide and other counterparts, I don't agree with all the ratings, and some people would go so far as to claim that ratings can be bought. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But I generally find the Black Pearl Guide to be trustworthy most of the time. And I'm a big fan of the Shangri-La anyway, so we're going to give them a shot for our first meal here in Nanjing. The restaurant named Jiangnan is officially translated as the Jiangnan Wok. Actually, I think stove would be more appropriate than wok. There is a Zhaosen stove god altar outside. As the name suggests, Jiangnan principally serves cuisines of the Jiangnan area. However, Jiangnan has different definitions depending on the context. There are common labels associated with the region such as affluence and exquisiteness, but opinions vary between folks. I'll write more about this confusing matter in the description section. One dish that's not geographically Jiangnan but culturally Jiangnan, at least in the opinions of many, is this absolutely incredible wensi tofu. I've had this dish before, but it still blows me away. Look at those hair-thin threads of tofu. That is wensi tofu, a symbol of Huaiyang cuisine, named after the eponymous cities of Huaiyang and Yangzhou. And this is also a pinnacle of knife work in Chinese cooking. In a recent video, I talked about cutting paper-thin slices of meat for Xuanwu Lake, instant boiled mutton hot pot. As for wensi tofu, I've read that some masters practice qigong to better gain control of their qi, or internal life energy, and in turn to better gain control of their body, because jittering hands just won't cut it in cutting tofu threads so thin you could thread them through an eye of a needle. The tofu came with a 蟹壳黄 puff pastry, meaning yellow crab shell, which is named as such because of shape and color. It is a flaky Jiangnan snack often eaten alone, but sometimes it might feel too dry in the mouth, so it's pretty clever for the restaurant to pair it with a soupy wensi tofu. This next pairing doesn't have an obvious complementary effect, but the two components are awesome on their own. 神仙丹炖生肖, roughly translated as fairy egg and braised eel, but that does no justice to this creative combination of Jiangnan cuisine, especially the latter. Dunshengqiao, that is a Nanjing culinary soup. First, 神仙丹 fairy egg. It's sort of like an advanced version of deviled egg. The yolk is removed from a hole in the shell and replaced with fillings such as ground pork, then cooked together as a whole. That's why the egg white is much more savory because it absorbs the flavors of the filling during the process. And then 炖生肖, one of the great dishes of Nanjing. Qiao is a verb variously meaning to knock, to tap, etc. Eels are pounded on the cutting board and fried until the surface crinkles, then braised. The hammering helps soften the flesh so it won't turn too hard after frying, while the wrinkles help take up the braising sauce. Jiangsu folks are masters with freshwater seafoods because of the numerous lakes and rivers here. Many delicacies feature freshwater eel, fish, shrimp, and crab, the last two of which are seen in this next dish. 蟹粉粉皮下人, crab roll and crab meat with starch sheets and shrimp. The 粉皮 here, the starch sheets, refers to these little transparent strips. They're made from usually mung bean, things like that. 蟹粉粉皮 is one of the very classic ways to enjoy the Chinese meat crabs, as I've said in the previous live stream. I wonder if these crabs and shrimps came from Xuanwu Lake nearby. Absolutely not a chance. But we'll see the lake after the meal. These dishes comprise the Black Pearl Guide tasting menu for two, along with others like more of the in-season crab made in the form of this 醉蟹 drunken crab, this Hongshaorou red braised pork that arrived in one big uncut block of fabulous meat, and this simply but beautifully plated seasonal combination of grapefruit and orange. The stellar set menu is sizable, but we couldn't help and order a few things on the side, like this soup bun. This is called 水稻皮皮包水. It's a play on a saying about Yangzhou's two signatures, 水包皮 water wrapped around skin refers to the foot bath, and 皮包水 skin or actually wrapper wrapped around water means the buns, the soupy buns. So this one is 水包皮皮包水 got the soup around the bun, which contains more soup.
Playful naming, serious cooking. The restaurant and its Black Pearl Guide 2-diamond rating didn't fail my expectations. It would seem the market agrees. We saw travelers and business people, but also what seems like routine gatherings of local senior ladies. A reasonable choice, given the polite service and great foods. Not to mention the convenient location next to gorgeous Xuanwu Lake in the heart of the city.
Xuanwu refers to the black tortoise, one of the auspicious beasts in Chinese mythology. The lake has been named after the mythical creature because of several reasons. One reason goes that back in the 6th dynasties, Nanjing was the capital. The city proper was located to the south of the lake. So, the lake was to the north of the city. And since the black tortoise is related to the north in terms of, Chinese constellation, so the lake came to be known as Xuanwu, named after the black tortoise of the north. Another story goes that back in Song Dynasty, some people saw a black tortoise-like creature in the lake. So, the lake got named after this creature. I guess maybe it's sort of like, Loch Ness. Well, I don't think we're gonna see any black tortoise or crazy creatures today, but we got, plenty of autumn colors.
Xuanwu Lake is one of the most famous leaf peeping sites in the city, famous for its autumn leaves. Fishing was actually allowed here back in the days, and there were probably crabs and shrimps, but today it is an urban park and animals are kept for display and water purification purposes. The lake is pristine and pretty, but we came for the trees, and just like lunch before, they didn't disappoint. Some are turned golden, some turned red. Coincidentally, these two are the most auspicious colors in Chinese culture. Yes, Nanjing had been plundered numerous times through its history of more than 2 millennia, but today it still sparkles like a gem. Salute to this brilliant and resilient city. Enough with history for now. I shall start with a new Nanjing landmark in the next video filmed during evening on the same day. 再见!